In America, race has never simply been about skin color. It's been about identity, access, and power. From the moment newcomers stepped onto U.S. soil, the pressure to pick a race began. Some groups, like Southern Italians and Puerto Ricans, weren't initially considered white. They were racialized, categorized based on appearance, culture, or origin. And yet, over time, many were absorbed into the category of white, not because of shared culture, but because of shared advantage. Why did so many fight to be seen as white? Because whiteness in America came with benefits, better jobs, safer neighborhoods, social acceptance, and legal protections. To be labeled not white often meant exclusion, suspicion, or violence.
Some African Americans, those who could pass as white, made the painful decision to do so, leaving behind family and heritage to access a world of opportunity otherwise closed to them. The illusion of race was so powerful it could break families apart and forge entire new identities. Other groups, like Jewish Americans, also faced the weight of racial and ethnic exclusion. To escape discrimination and blend into the dominant culture, many changed their names. Markowitz became Marx, Goldberg became Grant. What they were doing wasn't just assimilation, it was survival. And as America became a global superpower, it didn't just export fast food, film, and finance. It also exported its racial model, how people were classified, ranked, and divided. Take South Africa. After studying U.S. segregation laws, South African lawmakers introduced apartheid in 1948. Decades after Jim Crow had already taken root in the American South. Under apartheid, people were sorted by race: white, black, colored, and Indian, with different legal rights assigned to each. Just like in America, the system dictated where people could live, work, and go to school. South Africa didn't just mirror the U.S., they used it as a model.
In Brazil, slavery ended in 1888. But in the 20th century, U.S. influence helped shape a new color hierarchy. Though Brazil promoted itself as a racial democracy, the reality told a different story. Lighter skin brought greater opportunities, while darker Brazilians faced discrimination in education, media, and employment. In the Dominican Republic, the dictator who ruled from 1930 to 1961 promoted a national identity rooted in whiteness and Spanish ancestry. To distance the country from its African roots, Afro-Dominicans and Haitians were excluded and often targeted, mirroring the racial ideology exported by the United States. From South Africa to Brazil to the Dominican Republic, we see the same pattern. People divided, dignity denied, and families fractured, not because of anything they did, but because of how they looked. Skin color became a currency of belonging or rejection. And the damage wasn't just national, it was deeply personal. Entire families were separated, siblings treated differently, children taught to be ashamed of their heritage, and parents forced to choose between truth and survival.
One heartbreaking example is Sandra Laing, born in 1955 to white parents in apartheid South Africa, but labeled colored because of her darker skin. Though legally white, she was expelled from school, rejected by society, and cut off from her family. Her very existence defied the racial order, and she paid a heavy personal price. In the United States, Anatole Broyard, a respected literary critic and editor for the New York Times, lived most of his adult life passing as a white man, hiding his African American identity from colleagues, and even from his own children. After his death, his daughter, Bliss Broyard, reflected, "My father didn't want to be defined by his race. But in doing so, he had to hide who he was, and who we were. That secrecy shaped our entire family." Among Puerto Ricans in the U.S., race wasn't always defined by law, but it still divided families. Many, under pressure to pass as white, denied their African and indigenous roots. Scholar Miriam Jimenez Roman described how this pursuit of whiteness caused painful rifts, even among siblings, and left behind shame, silence, and lost identity.
These stories remind us of a deeper truth, that no level of affluence, beauty, intelligence, or achievement can justify elevating one human being over another based solely on skin color. Race, as we know it, is a man-made illusion designed to rank, divide, and control. It is not a biblical truth. It is not God's design. In God's eyes, we are one blood, one creation, made in His image. The racial categories we cling to so tightly don't exist in heaven. So, why are we still trying to live by them on earth? It's time to rethink race. It's time to return to truth.
Learn more, share the truth, join the conversation. You can also help make a real difference by supporting our efforts to provide education, healthcare, and hope to vulnerable orphans through our mission. Donate securely via GiveButter. https://givebutter.com/Good Shepherd Haven of Hope. Every gift brings us closer to a more just, compassionate, and Christ-centered world.